I'm going to use text-to-speech to make it easier than including a bunch of text and making the video look a bit more scruffy. Anyway, let's see what this interior has to offer. First things first, we have fully openable doors, hood and trunk to make this car that bit more immersive, though it isn't really anything new compared to the stock cars. We also have some interactable buttons in here too, with an ignition button, hazards, drive modes and something I haven't seen before. Opening the trunk. Moving on, we have the hazards and start buttons, and a very, very cool digital system in here. We will see all its capabilities later on. That's how the engine sounds, by the way. You may notice that there is a DSE off option within the drive modes. This is because this high-tech little car has a bunch of features like emergency braking, parking sensors and high-end traction control, so when in that mode it all turns off. Here is a close-up of the gauge cluster with its 2 displays and selected gear display below the gauge itself. The left screen is also where you will see stuff like engine fault, contact your nearest dealer, handbrake engaged, and this nifty infographic of the doors and compartments open on the exterior of the car. Very cool. There is also a simplified version of the navigation here too. It also has blind spot warning lights on both mirrors, more on that later though. Some cup holders alongside the nice center console. And even a convertible soft top. How amazing is that? It's the first time I've seen this on a Beam NG drive car. You do have to grab it to the fully folded position though. But that's fine. There is also a working dome light that triggers when you press it or open one of the doors, a moving parking, brake moving pedals that look very sporty, and a nice leather shifter, as this is the manual version of this car. There is even some interior lights, as I'm sure you've noticed, but you can change the color of them using Paint 2 in the color section of the parts selector. And the places the lights can be found are incredible. In this little cubby, by the pedals, in the passenger footwell, and even in the door pockets. And under the shifter, which I love. Now let's see this center navigation screen in a bit more detail. But for me to show you the navigation stuff, I need to move away from this fence so the parking sensor screen goes away. It is amazing there are parking sensors in the first place. They make noise and act how real ones would. First time I've seen them in a Beam NG drive car yet again. Let's see what you can do. You can press the buttons on it. How amazing is that? You can change it between a 3D map or 2D map, and lock the map view to north. I honestly don't know what to say at this point other than I'm blown away. Here's what it looks like as you change between drive modes, by the way. Now let's take it for a drive. Dive into how it feels to drive and its speed. Just a quick demo of the parking sensors. It behaves brilliantly and acts nimble and fast, just like a real small sports car. And if you use a force feedback gaming wheel with Beam NG drive, I can tell you the steering at first feels soft and almost delicate, but when you want to do a quick maneuver or a sharp racing turn, it will feel tight and agile and does not fail to succeed through turns even at high speed. We will test it on a track in just a minute. I'm just going to stop at this gas station to spawn some traffic, then we will go to the West Coast race track. I suppose there is a test of the emergency braking. We will look at that a bit later on. There we go. I want to test out the emergency braking before we go to the racetrack. Let's quickly do that. As you could see there, it will just show on screen if it thinks it isn't serious, as a sort of warning, and will only beep when it actually brakes for you. Right, let's put it to the test. Not off to a great start. I had to brake myself at the last minute, but I can say it does work as I have used this car for the past few weeks and had it work. It just occasionally doesn't. It worked then, but sort of after I had crashed. I think we will put that down to the other car's fault and not this car. If I'm honest, it works better the faster you are going, so let's see about now. Perfect. It was braking to avoid me even getting near that car going that fast. Right, let's get to the racetrack. I'm just going to do a lap or so and not annotate so you can see how it performs, then I'll start text-to-speeching again after. It handled and accelerated brilliantly. I am amazed at this mod for how much it does, and its handling as when compared to other mods where you can get iffy brakes, bad crash physics and conflict with the game. None of that is present here, not to mention if you have detailed mirrors on. It has the same tech in the rear view mirror as the updated T-Series in the new update. I'll show you these blind spot warning lights and then wrap today's video up. As you can see, as this car starts to appear in my mirror, it flashes a light to tell me it may be entirely in sight of the mirror, and so it is difficult to judge whether you can make the turn. A pretty useful feature on a lot of modern cars, and of course this mod. That's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and or subscribe, as this is a small channel and would help our journey to grow. See you in the next one.